I had some evangelical jerk tell me I was a member of a cult for voting for Trump. One of these liberal evangelicals. You can follow me on Twitter at Doug in Exile. But this is mostly for your liberal friends who are going to give you heat this Thanksgiving for voting for Trump, when really they were lied to. They voted for some of the most satanic, despicable people who actually hate your kids' guts. They hate their own voters. I'm talking about college-educated women. They hate them. Kamala calls them stupid. We've got the video. Just remember, the Democrats are the ones now doing bomb threats on Trump's administration picks.
Multiple Trump picks have been targeted by violent bomb threats and swatting.
The mask slips. Scratch a liberal and they bleed totalitarian.
Well, sources tell Fox News that nearly a dozen of President-elect Trump's new administration picks have been threatened, at least since Tuesday night. And we now know the identities of at least 5 of those appointees and nominees that have received those threats. We begin with Trump's pick for CIA Director John Ratcliffe, then his nominee for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Brooke Rollins, his pick for Agriculture Secretary.
Oh, Brooke Rollins, a woman. We find out what the pro-woman party did. They death threatened one of Trump's strong, intelligent women. That's what Democrats do. That's what this is about. They're revealing their true colors.
And his nominee for the Environmental Protection Agency, Lee Zeldin, who says a pipe bomb threat was sent to his family with a pro-Palestinian themed message.
Oh, Lee Zeldin. Jewish name by a pro-Palestinian sent him a message. That's what they're really about. That's what the Democrats who, now look, the media is not going to run with this. CNN, MSNBC, they're going to hide all of this. That's the last thing they want the left to be, is informed, to make an informed decision. That's why they hit almost everything I'm going to show you will get swept under the table, banned by them, covered up, hidden, because they have an agenda to say Trump and his supporters are the bad ones.
And his pick for United Nations Ambassador Elise Stefanik. Stefanik is Trump's nominee, like I said, to be at the UN. Her office says a bomb threat was made against Stefanik and her family. New York State, County, and U.S. Capitol Police responded immediately, and everyone is okay. But in a statement, her office said, quote, "This morning, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, her husband, and their 3-year-old son were driving home to Saratoga County from Washington for Thanksgiving when they were informed of a bomb threat to their residence."
Yeah, they don't even hit him at the office. They hit him at their home, where they can terrify the most women and children. Elise being a strong woman and a Jew. That's a twofer to Democrats.
The Trump transition team says that there were nearly a dozen people that were targeted beginning on Tuesday night with, quote, violent, un-American threats to their lives and those who live with them. The threats range from bomb threats to swatting, which is making prank calls to send a heavy police presence to someone's home.
Happy Thanksgiving from the Democrats. Almost a dozen of Trump's picks politically targeted. Will the FBI open up an investigation? Because the FBI doesn't open up an investigation unless you're a pro-life Catholic praying outside of a Planned Parenthood. We already know how all this works, guys.
How do people feel about companies taking even a stand on the issue?
Now, this is where it gets very interesting, because here we have a real-time trend. So let's take a look at it, all right? Businesses' DEI public stance. Important to know, back in 2021, so we can go all the way back then, right? Just after the summer of George Floyd, which of course was back in 2020. How important did folks think it was to know the DEI stances of businesses? It was 68%.
And that all that represents is 68% of the people who leaned with Democrat policies cared about what a business thought about diversity, equity, and inclusion. That is race-based, gender-based hiring. That's all. They used to care.
Look at where we are now in 2024. A real decrease. Just 53% of Americans want to know a business's DEI stance.
That is, if you're making Oreo cookies, they want to know what your hiring policies are. That number is on the vast decline. It is super troubling, but it shows that people want to punish businesses if they don't believe and tout Democrat principles. That is a form of economic terrorism. They're going to go, look, if you don't change your position, we're not going to buy your product if you don't virtue signal enough.
Now, considerably less so in 2024. This is a drop of 15 points. That's a considerable drop. You know, I like looking at poll questions. You oftentimes don't see this type of drop unless there's a real change in public opinion.
So thankfully, the public is turning their back on this, and this shows part of Trump's leadership. He's showing the way out.
What is driving this decline? It's Republicans. Okay, important to want to know a business's DEI stance. You go back to 2021. Look, there was a partisan divide between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats coming in at 86%, Republicans coming in at 50%. Democrats have basically stayed pretty steady on this issue, right? In 2024, it's 79%, a slight drop.
Democrats are still stuck in the past, punishing businesses for their political ideology on race, gender, sex, etc. They're stuck there. But the Republicans have gone from 50% caring, which is outrageous. That's Democrat, Marxist, socialist bullcrap, that they're down to 22%, which just goes to show they didn't care in the first place. And so you should be called out as a fraud. If you did buy it back in 2021 and now you leave just because it's popular to leave DEI, that is popular now to go on merit and quality and work ethic instead of your skin color, your gender, and your belief system, you need to look at your values.
Look at Republicans. Look at this drop-off in this number. 50% back in 2021 said it was important to know a business's stance on DEI. Now, it's just 22%. That is a drop of more than half.
Those are all cowards and liar Republicans, by the way. The cowards and liars pretended to be for it when it was popular, and now that it's popular to be against it, they're all, DEI what? I had nothing to do with it. You're still a fraud and still a liar. The question is, will you keep this stand when next time they pull some DEI on you and you go, well, it's popular again?
The bottom line is the Republican base on DEI 3 years ago, kind of lukewarm.
And this is what the youth are totally embroiled in. This is why this is my message to the Kamala voters that were lied to all this time. These businesses never cared. Even the Republicans don't care. By the way, even now the Democrat Party is talking about abandoning the trans issue to get to win another election. They're going to abandon all of your issues to win because they never believed in it in the first place.
Now, in vast opposition to it. They don't want to hear anything from businesses on DEI, and I think that's why you're seeing a lot of businesses differentiating themselves out, saying, you know what, we're taking a step back.
Yeah, and even businesses like they just announced with Walmart are coming off their DEI policy. John Deere Tractor, all of these institutions are abandoning it now. By the way, they never cared before, and they don't care now. So don't give them credit now. I mean, I give them credit for not living a lie, but I'm only saying if it was popular, they'd go right back to canceling you. Now we're going to talk about what the Kamala Harris really thinks about the young vote, especially young women, because they hate your guts. And this is the proof. This is James Carville. He's a big famous Democrat communicator for Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Here he goes. Kamala Harris should have gone on Joe Rogan.
The vice president was thinking about going on Joe Rogan's show, and a lot of the younger progressive staffers pitched a hissy fit. Supposedly the campaign said that that wasn't the term of fact, but they did.
So the young staffers were upset that Kamala was going to go on Joe Rogan, and here's the kind of respect James Carville and Democrats have for you.
When you put a campaign together and you hire young people to do work, let me tell you exactly what you tell these people, what I would tell them. Not only am I not interested in your opinion, I'm not even going to call you by your name.
The mask slip. The true James Carville Democrat comes out. To the young staffers, in case you think you're something and this party is brat and full of joy, he won't even use your name. By the way, Kamala Harris also has a huge track record of calling young, college-age females, by the way, who overwhelmingly came to vote for her, she calls them stupid.
But also, don't forget what we also know about that age range. They can be really stupid. That's why we make them live in dormitories with a resident assistant.
We put them in dormitories with an RA. Why? Because they make stupid decisions.
What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24?
They are stupid. They make really bad decisions.
Among them, voting for you, Kamala.
You're 23 years old. I don't really give a shit what you think.
So they don't even care what you think, not even what you do. You've been deceived. So don't come after your dad, your grandpa, your uncle, grandma, grandpa, Trump supporter, and come give us heat and go, I don't know if I can have Thanksgiving with y'all. You were lied to. And you were lied to about us, conservatives, evangelicals, Republicans. You were lied to. So now don't act on those lies. Reject these people.
And let me tell you another huge error that's made, is when people said campaigns need to reflect progressive values. No, they don't. No, they don't. Campaigns are authoritarian by their nature.
He said it, not me. They shouldn't reflect progressive values and higher diversity. He's a Democrat, by the way, perhaps the only Democrat telling you the truth of what they really believe. And the media will not let this out because they think you're stupid. I think you're smart. We're trying to help you with the truth. Your uncle that you call racist and sexist for voting for Trump, he was always only trying to tell you the truth. And you went against the one person who was throwing you a life raft and throwing you a rope trying to help you while the Democrats were sawing it off and floating you out to sea. These people.
If I were running a 2028 campaign and I had some little snot-nosed 23-year-old saying, I'm going to resign if you don't do this, not only would I fire that motherfucker on the spot, I would find out who hired them and fire that person on the spot. I'm really not interested in your uninformed, stupid, jackass opinion as to whether you go on Joe Rogan.
You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If you vote for these Democrats again, this time, now that you know what they really think, it's shame on you. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Doug, in exile.